Welcome to Suzanne's studio. I'm Suzanne Barnett, your host, and I always say this, but I can't wait to tell you who's going to be on the show. And it's really hard for me to do this show because I want it to be so wonderful because I love these two people that I'm going to introduce. First, we have Hal Taylor and his lovely daughter, Leslie Taylor, and these two are the musical duos of the world. So, Leslie, I'd like to introduce you first, and you are an executive coach with a high-tech company, and you are a semi-professional singer and guitarist, and Hal has always been in the musical retail business, and you are the darling of the Forum, which is a
How did you know that?
living facility. And Hal plays the piano for every occasion. The women are crazy about him, and I could hardly drag him away to be on the show. So, Hal, let's start with you.
Okay.
Okay. How come you play the piano so well?
How come?
Yeah.
Well, it started at age 12. And from age 12 to 18, I studied classical music. And interestingly enough, at age 18, I heard Nat King Cole and his trio. And at that point in time, I turned on to that kind of music and completely gave up classical and started playing jazz of this nature by ear. And I've been doing it ever since. I didn't play a lot before I moved to the Forum for other people, but since moving to the Forum, I've played a great deal, and I enjoy every minute of it.
Well, would you play a song for us right now?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Very nice.
Thank you.
Now it's Miss Leslie's turn. How did you get started with your music, Les?
Oh my gosh. Well, Dad was in the music business, as you said, so I was always around music. My mom and my dad were both very musical, and when I was in first grade, I got a ukulele, don't ask me why, and I started playing the ukulele. Oh, I do know why, my first grade teacher. And then my fourth grade teacher turned me on to the next two strings, which makes a ukulele a guitar. and she taught me how to play the guitar. And I, like Dad, had taken piano, but really never quite got into that, and more picked up playing all the folk music of the 60s, because that's when I was growing up.
What's your favorite kind of music?
Well, there's my favorite kind of music and then the kind of music I can sing. My favorite kind of music is soul music because I love to dance to it. But to sing, I just love singer-songwriters. I love all of the country songs. I love crooning a ballad, but really can get into blues and country a lot because I liked Bonnie Raitt.
So don't you think it's in the genes? I always say this, but because your mom and dad were so musical, do you think that you inherited that?
You know, it wouldn't surprise me, but there's also the exposure of it because it was always in our home from the time I was tiny, tiny, tiny.
So this is a perfect time for you to sing.
Okay. Hello, honey. How was your day? Well, you're sure in a good mood tonight. Oh, and by the way, I was downtown this afternoon, and I saw the most amazing sight. Through the window of a small cafe, I saw a man and a woman holding hands. They looked so in love, took my breath away. Can't you see it? Don't you understand? Well, I guess you had to be there. You really had to be there. Some things are just not the same, just not the same. You really had to be there. I just stood there, my heart pounding. I couldn't breathe, all I could do was stare. I kept remembering when we used to look like that. Two people with so much to share. They were talking, and they were laughing, just like we used to do every day. And they looked so in love, took my breath away. What's the matter? You don't have much to say. Well, I guess you had to be there. You really had to be there. Some things you just can't explain. It's just not the same. You really had to be there. And as I saw you with your new love, I hadn't seen you that happy in years. Drifted so far apart, and it's hard to admit it, but there's nothing left for you here. Well, I guess you had to be there. You really had to be there. Some things you just can't explain, just not the same. You really had to be there.
Leslie, you have such a good voice, and I understand you're not playing at all those famous places that you used to play anymore.
All the local haunts.
No, really. but you can just pick it up and get into it. How does that happen for you?
You know, it's interesting that you even asked that, because it doesn't just happen, and yet it does. I mean, I always feel like I have to find my voice again. I don't have any muscles like I used to, but the music is just absolutely in my DNA. I mean, all the words are there, the chords are still there, and it might be a year or two between picking up the guitar. But when you've played the same songs as many times as we have, or I have, it's just easy.
Well, you said something very interesting, because I've asked Hal so many times, when you play a piece, will you be able to play it exactly the same way that you did the first time?
Probably, basically it'll be the same, but there'll be some chord changes, and it won't quite be exactly the same, no.
Is that true of all the pianists that play by ear like you do?
You know, I'm not really sure about that. I think jazz pianists probably tend to go off in different directions from time to time.
Would you play another song for us?
Oh, sure.
Hal, you are so good. I've heard you play many, many times, and I enjoy it just
Thank
as
you.
much
I
or
appreciate
more.
that.
Leslie, it's your turn.
My turn.
Yes.
Look at us, baby, up all night, tearing our love apart. Weren't we the same two people who lived through years in the dark? Oh, every time we try to walk away, something makes me turn around and stay, and I can't tell you why. When we get crazy, it just ain't right. Girl, I've been lonely too. I can see. You make it harder than it has to be, and I can't tell you why. No, baby, I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why.
Boy, this is a hot show. It's a hot show.
Hot
I
show.
don't ever say cool. However, you want to play another cool song?
Another
Please?
song.
Yeah.
A
Let's
cool
see.
tune.
Yeah.
Would that be a piano selection that you'd like?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Well.
Now, I've made an observation
How about?
about the fact that you play on a grand piano.
Yeah.
And you don't watch the keys, you know, you're just doing this and looking around and stuff.
Right.
But this is new to you. What's the difference?
This piano has a different feel to it. So when your fingers hit the keys, you have to do it with a little different touch.
I see.
And sometimes it's hard to accustom yourself to it unless you've played it enough to know the feel that you're looking for. But
Are you comfortable with this?
fairly,
Yeah.
yeah.
But when you play your piano, how does it make you feel?
Well, when I play my piano, I get lost. I just float through the air.
And how do you know where
I
those
enjoy
notes
it
are
so
without
much.
looking? Excuse
Pardon?
me. How do you know where the notes are without
well,
looking?
I'm not sure how that really works,
Yeah.
but it's maybe because you've done it enough
Mm-hmm.
times and you just automatically know where your fingers go. The fact is that you also change your course of a selection And so you can do it just about any way you want to do it. But it's play by ear is a little bit different, you know.
Okay, Leslie, how do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
feel when you're singing?
Well, you know, it's funny. I'm lost. I just get lost.
If you get lost,
Completely.
how do you remember the words?
It's a knowing lost. You know, it's that DNA. It's kind of like you're not thinking, you're not anything. You're just in the zone. Probably the same as athletes feel when they're just running. They're not thinking about, just like driving. It's just something you do naturally at this point.
Well, you're so busy in your profession that you're traveling all over the world teaching. And do you miss playing like you used to?
Well, you know, it's funny. A friend of mine told me recently that she met me when I was a singer. And I've recently started taking up painting. And I enjoy that just as much, if not more. And my friend said, well, gosh, I miss the musician in you. And it's almost something I have to remember is even part of me, because now I just spend every free second painting.
So we're very honored to have you here singing.
Thank you.
Next show, we'll show your painting. Would
that
you
would be
please
fun.
do another number for us?
Yes, I was thinking about a Carly Simon song. Do you like Carly Simon?
Oh, very much so.
All right. Or Crosby, Stills, Nash. Which would you prefer?
Whatever you want.
All right, we'll go with Carly. Well, I have known you since you were a small boy, and your mama used to say, well, my boy is gonna grow up and be some kind of leader someday. Then you turn on the radio, sing with the singer in the band, and kind of sadly to yourself, this isn't exactly what you had planned. But you're a legend in your own time, hero in the footlights, playing tunes to fit your rhymes. But a legend's only a lonely boy when he goes home alone. And though I know you still have the heart of that small boy, well, you landed out far too much, and no one woman loving you can ever feel that she's been really touched. And you turn on the radio, sing with the singer in the band. Your mama would say to you, this isn't exactly what she had planned. But you're a legend in your own time, hero in the footlights, playing tunes to fit your rhymes. But a legend's only a lonely boy when he goes home alone. Well, a legend's only a lonely boy when he goes home alone.
Bravo. Bravo to both of you. I was hoping we had more time, so I'm going to ask both of you to return and maybe I won't be as nervous, but I don't know why I was nervous. You guys were both fabulous.
As were you.
Of course, thank you. I want to thank our remarkable crew. We were just talking about how long we've all been together, and I appreciate my crew so much, and KMVT is the best, right? So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, but who wants to play when we run the credits over?
Whatever you'd like.
Do you want to play, Hal?
Finish.
Okay, just, 1 second. I want to thank Leslie Taylor and Hal Taylor. They're my favorites of the world. I don't know if everybody knows that, but Hal's my #1 hot boyfriend. I haven't told about the others. Anyway, no. So, and I want to thank our audience for watching. I can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay,
Thank you.
play.